Bright lights, bright lights.
Hi and welcome to Roslyn Hill Unitarian Church, Hampstead Children's Chapel. We are calling ourselves Bright Lights. We thought we'd give a name to our chapel online for a few different reasons. The first reason is to have a fun name, have something that everyone can relate to, whether you're Unitarian or not. And I suppose this time of year it seemed like a really good time to introduce bright lights because the clocks went back last week and it's darker for a longer portion of our usual waking time during the day. So we thought it would be nice to have a name like Bright Lights to carry us through this darker time. But the most important reason we're calling ourselves Bright Lights is because of you. You are the future, the children of this chapel. And we talked about elders last week, but really when it comes down to it, all the things that adults are doing, we're hopefully making the right decisions for, because you are our focus, if you like. We want to get it right for you, and we want your light to shine brightly in whatever darkness there may be now and in the future. And with that sense of reasonless hope for all families through what has been such a challenging year for the whole world. So I hope you like the name, and I hope you feel like a very bright light, which you are, amongst other bright lights out there. So with that in mind, I'd like to light the chalice candle and to remind you that if you have a candle at home with your family, now is a wonderful time to light it. Let it be your light. We are the chapel of the open minds, the loving hearts, and the helping hands. We're in November. Here we are. And in fact, if you're watching this on Sunday, it will have been Halloween last night. So I hope you all have had a wonderful Halloweenish week, celebrating Samhain and thinking about your ancestors. And it will be November for you watching this on Sunday. So how are you all doing today? Have you had a good week? Have you had a great half term? Has it been your half term? For some people it's still carrying on school. So if you have had a half term, what joys has it brought? What concerns have you got? And how do you feel about that? So if you press the pause to reflect button now and have a chat with your family. So, November, and the theme for November is, drumroll please, it's healing. We are a people of healing. We've thought a lot about the NHS this year and how they've gone above and beyond healing. But what does healing mean in terms of Unitarianism, not just at Roslyn Hill, but across the world? Well, to start us off, we've got a great lesson, if you like. Soul Matters calls it Lesson A, and that's the title is Don't Run Away from the Hard Work of Healing. Wow, that's a big one, even for adults and for families. And what does that mean? Well, to have a think about this, I've got the Wonder Box. Can you guess what's going to be inside today? Have you seen the craft activity advertised? Let's have a little look. I might need your help with this one. I wasn't expecting to have to bring this out of the box. Can you guess? Whoa, what is that? Is that spaghetti? What is that? Is it Play-Doh? Well, actually, it is a very tangled bit of thread, wool. I feel in a tangle when I look at it. I want to sort it out straight away, as quickly as possible. Well, the reason this is in my Wonder Box this week is to talk about friendship. Have you ever had a friend where you haven't always agreed, or sometimes things have felt a bit tricky even though you know you're really good friends? Well, it's a bit like this. Sometimes you can feel like a little bit in knots. Have you had that feeling? And then you try to pull at it, you try to get it all straight again, and then you get some more knots coming. I ran out of storage space there. So when we have a problem with our friends, sometimes it does mean that to heal, we should slow down and take time to listen to each other, not to pull too tightly at each other's feelings and to try and resolve it perhaps faster than it needs to be resolved. And in time we find that our thread and our way together is hopefully healed. To have a think about this idea, I've got a lovely story for you which I'd like to share, and a lovely craft, so please enjoy those. I'd like to share with you, please, the story called The Hare with Many Friends, and it's part of Aesop's fables. A hare was very popular with the other animals in the jungle, who all claimed to be her friends. One day she heard the hounds approaching her and hoped to escape them by the aid of her friends. So she heard the dogs running after her and she hoped that her friends would come and help her. So she went to the horse and asked him to carry her away from the hounds on his back. But he declined, stating that he had important work to do for his master. He felt sure, he said, that all her other friends would come to her assistance. She then applied, so asked, to the bull and hoped that he would repel the hounds with his horns. And the bull replied, I am very sorry, but I have an appointment with a lady, but I feel sure that our friend, the goat, will do what you want. The goat, however, feared that his back might do her some harm if he took her upon it, so he wasn't sure to take her because he felt that it would hurt his back, so he didn't want to do it. And the ram, he felt sure, was the proper friend to ask for help. So the hare went to the ram and told him the case, and the ram replied, another time, my dear friend. I do not like to interfere on the present occasion, as hounds have been known to eat sheep as well as hares. What do you think about that? Doesn't seem very caring, does it? But he's scared for himself too. The hare then applied as a last hope to the calf, who regretted that he was unable to help her, as he did not like to take the responsibility on himself, as so many older persons other than himself had declined the task. So the calf, the tiny animal, the baby animal, felt that if the older ones weren't doing it, then he didn't really feel that he could take it on himself as well. That's quite interesting, isn't it, about leading by example, and the elders didn't want to do it, so the younger animal didn't want to either. And by this time, by the time she'd asked everybody and everyone had given various reasons why they couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't, the hounds were quite near. And so, what do you think the hare did? What would you do? The dogs are coming after you, the hounds, and none of your friends would help. Well, what would you do? Would you be like the hare? So the hare just simply took to her heels and ran off into the distance, and luckily she escaped. That's a funny story, isn't it? We often get stories where one character meets a lot of other characters, and you can imagine her going up and just saying, well, look, I've asked this person, but they can't help. I've asked this person, they can't help. And they all seem to have fairly valid reasons, but no one really stepped up and stepped in, did they, to help? What do you think? Do you think they did the right thing, the other animals? I don't know. There's no right answer. There's just different answers. The moral to the story is, apparently, a person that has many friends has no friends. I'm thinking about that myself. I mean, surely if you have many friends, you have many friends. I would hope that would be the case, but I think with this story, it means that perhaps sometimes, I'm guessing that if all the friends know each other, they just assume that they just guess that everyone else will help the other friend. And sometimes when you're in a group, you need to remember that actually, if everyone else thinks that everyone else is doing it, sometimes the help doesn't come at all. So that would be my take on the story, but you and your family might read it differently together. And I'm just glad that the hare managed to escape and she just took upon herself to run away, which maybe she could have done in the first place, but sometimes it's good to ask for help when you need to, and I hope that it's there. I hope you enjoyed the story. So to make a pom-pom, you need 2 circles the same size, depending on the size of the pom-pom that you want to make. These ones are about 3 centimetres across with a centimetre cut out in the middle, and some leftover or fresh yarn or wool, as we call it. Just start to wind it around the circles. Keep going until the thread is all the way around the circle. You can see I've wound it pretty much all the way around the circles. Now I'm going to trim it with some scissors, or to cut it I should say, right in the middle all the way around. So using quite sharp scissors under supervision if you're not confident or safe using them by yourself yet, cut round the middle and then gently prise apart the 2 circles and tie a piece of string around the middle. Gently prise off the 2 halves with the string tightly bound in the middle. I actually tied it 3 times, and just slide the 2 pieces off either direction, and you should, and if you keep the string a bit long in case you want to tie it to something so don't cut the string, you should be left with a really lovely pom-pom. Yeah, feels great. You can either make it for yourself or you can make it for somebody else. Here are the closing words. As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness that we learn light our hearts until we return. Bye.
Bright lights,